Hi, everyone, and welcome back to your Understanding Culture, Society, and Politics subject. This is your instructor, Mr. Kip Anthony A. Ramos. And for this session, we'll be talking about kinship, marriage, and the household. All right, so first, as we go along this topic, it is imperative for us, of course, to distinguish what is the difference between kinship and descent. Okay, so if we're talking about kinship, sa madaling salita, this is the kaugnayan ng magkamag-anak. So simply put, it is a social institution that refers to relations formed between members of the society. Ano nga ba yung kaugnayan halimbawa ni member number 1 kay member number 2? No? So definitely, that would actually be your kinship. So this is something to do with the relationship, okay, of a member towards another member. If we're talking about descent, on the other hand, this would actually pertain to the pinagmulan ng angkan, no? So saan sila nagmula? No, saan sila nagsimula nung time na nabuo yung kanilang yung kanilang pamilya or kanilang angkan. So simply put, this refers to the origin or background of a person in terms of family or nationality. So it is also a biological relationship. So that is descent, no? Kanino ba siya nagsimula? So definitely that would actually be under descent. But if we're talking about the relationship, okay, so that would be kinship. So that would be the difference between the two terms. Okay, so let's talk about the principles of descent. So let's distinguish it one by one. So if we're talking about unilineal descent, this is usually traced through a single line of ancestors, either from the patrilineal or matrilineal descent, but not both. So simply put, for the term unilineal, so uni, if we're talking about uni, this would actually tell you that it is one because of the term uni. So there is only one line. So that can be either patrilineal or matrilineal descent. So pwedeng ang angkan ng tatay mo or angkan ng nanay mo. So isang line 'yon, no? So simula sa mga kaninunuan ng tatay mo or kaninunuan ng yung ina, no? So that would be unilineal descent. So since we were able to talk about patrilineal or matrilineal, so let's distinguish one from the other. So if we're talking about patrilineal, okay, so patrilineal descent affiliates a person with a group of relatives through his or her father. So from the word itself, patri, so that would be the father side. Whereas, if we're talking about matrilineal descent, it affiliates a person with a group of relatives through his or her mother. So from the word itself, matri, okay, that would be on the side of your mother. No? On the other hand, if we're talking about bilateral descent, okay, from the word bi, okay, so this affiliates a person with a group of relatives through either, no? So ibig sabihin dalawa, his or her parents. So pwedeng sa tatay, pwedeng sa nanay. Okay? So kinship is traced through both ancestral lines of the father and even the mother. No? So in short, if we're talking about bilateral from the word bi, definitely there are two. No, there are two lines. So that can be either from the father or even from the mother. Okay? So let's talk about the types of kinship. So we have the first one. It's called as consanguineal kinship or the kinship based on blood. So in simpler terms, this is your kadugo, no? From the word itself, consanguineal or consanguinity. If we're talking about consanguinity, no, so that would be based on blood. Sino ba yung mga kadugo mo? So this is considered the most basic and general form of relations. So the relationship with this is achieved by birth or blood affinity. It is also commonly called as relatives by blood, yung mga kadugo nga, no? So example nito, definitely yung iyong magulang, no? Kadugo mo yung iyong magulang, tatay mo, nanay mo, and even yung magiging anak mo, kung sakali mang mapagdedesisyon mo na in the future, you will be having children, they will be part of your consanguineal kinship or the kinship based on bloods. Your siblings will also be part of your kadugo. Even your nephews, nieces, aunties, or even your uncles, that would be based on blood. So simply put, now if we're talking about consanguineal kinship, sino ba yung mga kadugo mo? No, ito yung nagsimula sa kamag-anak ng tatay at nanay mo. Okay? On the other hand, if we're talking about affinal kinship or the kinship based on marriage, it refers to the type of relations developed when a marriage occurs. No? Take note that if we're talking about affinal kinship, there should be marriage first. Okay? Because without marriage, you won't have affinal kinship. Okay? So the husband forms new relationship with his wife and her family. Likewise, the wife forms new relations with his husband and his family. So definitely lahat na magiging lahat na magiging lahat ng kamag-anak ng iyong asawa, no? Say for example, kung ikaw ay babae, yung husband mo, yung lahat ng kanyang lahat ng kanyang pamilya, no? Mula sa kanyang ina, ama, hanggang sa mga kalulolohan niya or mga pinsan niya, that would be part of your kinship already. So that would be under a penal kinship or the kinship based on marriage. But take note again that it will only happen, you will only have a penal kinship if you will be married. Okay? So that would be the types of kinship. So let's talk about the marriage since we were already able to state the term marriage. Okay, so marriage across cultures, definitely they differ from one to the other. No, so we first have what we call as the endogamy. Okay, or it is also called as the compulsory marriage. So this refers to marriage within their own clan or ethnic group, within their circle. No, hindi lumalabas sa circle na yon if we're talking about endogamy. No, so endogamy. So if we're talking about endogamy, that can be part of, say for example, the clan or even an ethnic group, or say for example, a society, no, or a community. So kung magpapakasal yun, definitely nasa loob lang ng kanilang circle. Pero if they will actually intend to marry someone that is outside from their circle, that would be another case. So we have the exogamy or the out marriage. So if we're talking about the out marriage or the exogamy, this would refer to the marriage outside their own clan or ethnic group. Or let me give you an example. So if we're talking about a Filipino marrying another foreigner, say for example an American, that would be a type of exogamy or an example of exogamy or out marriage. Okay, so for as long as you are marrying outside your circle, definitely that would be exogamy. But if you will be marrying someone within your own group or within your circle, that would be endogamy. Okay, so we also have what we call as the monogamy. So monogamy refers to a marriage where an individual has only one spouse at a time. No, hindi pwedeng humigit sa dalawa. So as a general rule here in the Philippines, we are practicing this one, the monogamy. Hindi ka pwedeng magpakasal sa dalawang tao. Sa isang tao ka lang pwedeng magpakasal. Otherwise, no, maaari kang makasawan sa batas, no? So polygamy on the other hand, this would refer to a marriage of having more than one spouse at a time. No, commonly this happens in a country which practices Islam as their religion. Polygamy can actually be polygyny, in which the marriage of one man, okay, that would be towards multiple female partners at the same time. So that's polygyny. So if, say for example, meron isang lalaki magpapakasal sa multiple female partners, that is polygyny. Okay? But if we're talking about polyandry, okay, this would be the type of marriage in which one woman, okay, would actually be married to multiple male partners at the same time. Okay, so that would be polyandry. Again, polygamy, no, in a general term, this would be a marriage of having more than one spouse at a time. But this can be distinguished into two. If we're talking about polygyny, that would be one man marrying multiple female partners. But polyandry would actually tell you that there would be one woman, which would actually marry multiple male partners at the same time. Okay, so let's also go to one of the topics here when it comes to marriage, that is arranged marriage. I believe you already encountered this term, no? Most especially sa mga teleserye, no? Arranged marriage, or even in stories. All right, so let's distinguish the different types of arranged marriage. So we first have what we call as the child marriage. So the parents of a small child arrange a future marriage with another child's parents. So the children are betrothed to each other. So that would be child marriage. Habang bata pa sila, no, ang mga magulang nila ay nagkakasundo. That would be your child marriage. But if we're talking about exchange marriage, this is a form of marriage which involves a reciprocal exchange of spouses between two nations, groups, or tribes. No, magpapalitan, kaya nga siya tinawag na exchange. We also have what we call as the diplomatic marriage. So marriages are arranged for political reasons to cement alliances between royal families. This is quite common, no, noong time ng medieval period, no, and even sa mga stories, no, be it in anime or say for example, no, yung mga stories nung unang panahon na kailangan makipag-alyansa ng mga mayayaman at saka mga mga harit reyna or mga monarchs. Definitely ito yung pinakasikat, no, yung diplomatic marriage. Nagpapakasal no, yung dalawang tao in order to for them to cement their alliances. Kasi syempre, pagkasal halimbawa yung dalawang tao, definitely hindi mo naman ibebetray yung iyong asawa, no? So also, class, this form of marriage occurs when an arranged marriage has been established between two royal or political families in order to forge political or diplomatic alliances. No? So simply put, diplomatic marriage happens simply because they would want to build alliances, okay, within their families. All right, so we also have what we call as the modern arranged marriage. So the parents choose several possible mates for the child. Okay, sometimes with the help of the child who may indicate which photos he or she likes, for example. So, unlike the child marriage, in modern arranged marriage, no, binibigyan pa rin sila ng karapatan, no? Bibigyan sila ng, say for example, ng pictures, tapos sabihin sa mga bata na, oh, eto, mamili ka na lang dito kung sino yung gusto mong asawahin. Pero in short, no, definitely it's still an arranged marriage simply because binigyan ng option ng magulang yung bata, no? So it's just that, no, yung bata pa rin yung mamimili, pero of course, no, yung naging options ay definitely inarrange ng magulang. Okay, so that would be the types of arranged marriage. Now, let's say for example, a person will already be married, no? You might ask, sir, what will happen once, say for example, a couple will already be married? Okay, so this would be based on residence. So let's talk about the residence of the couple. So there are several residency rules that may apply, no, at pwede nyo mapag-isipan. Say for example, ikasal na kayo in the future. We first have what we call as the patrilocal residence, which occurs when the married couple stays with or near the husband's kin or relative. So patrilocal nga, ibig sabihin sa husband. Matrilocal, on the other hand, would actually be on the wife's kin or relatives. So if we're talking about biological residence, okay, it happens when the couple stays with the husband's kin or the wife's kin alternately. So pwedeng ano, no, pwedeng say for example sa first week dito kay husband, sa second week sa wife, no, and the third week balik kay husband, fourth week ayan. So on and so forth. That's biological. Neolocal residence happens when the couple stays or build a home independently from the husband or wife's kin. In short, talagang bumukod sila. That's neolocal. Avunculocal residence occurs when the couple resides with or near the maternal uncle of the groom. So that would be some of the post-marital residency rules that is based on residence. Okay, we also have what we call as the kinship by ritual. So here in the Philippines, no, medyo ano to, no, medyo common to. So we have the compadrazgo. This is literally translated as godparent or your ninong and ninang. No? So this can be done through the performance of Catholic rituals such as baptism, confirmation, and even marriage. So the compadrazgo definitely becomes the spiritual parents of the child or as co-parents, and the godson or goddaughter would actually be called as the inaanak. No? So that will be kinship by ritual. So we have the compadrazgo. So let's also talk about the family and the household. So as we all know, family is considered as the basic unit of social organization. And this is commonly made up of group of individuals who are linked, okay, together by marriage, blood relations, or adoption. So in terms of family, definitely there are different types. We first have what we call as nuclear family. This is a type of family that is made up of a married couple, which are the parents, and their biological or adopted children. So that is your nuclear family. An extended family is composed of two or more nuclear families in a household. Okay, so some of the relatives are living with the nuclear family. So pwedeng si tito, si tita, no, si pinsan, and so on and so forth. Sina lolo, lola, definitely they can be part of the extended family. A blended family is a type of family where both the parents, the father and mother, have children from the previous marital relationships, but all the members stay in one household to form a new family. So say for example, si daddy halimbawa ay merong halimbawang naging asawa, no? Halimbawa biyudo siya, and definitely say for example meron siyang anak. And then itong si mommy, meron din siya naging anak sa una niyang naging asawa na biyuda nga rin siya. And then say for example nagkasundo si daddy at saka si mommy no, na magpakasal, and then yung mga anak nila ay pinagsama nila, definitely that is called as blended family. So sometimes this is being also called as step family, reconstituted family, or a complex family. Okay, we also have what we call as conditionally separated family, in which it is a type of family where a member is separated from the rest of the family due to employment, military service, or sickness. So let me give you an example here. Actually, si Sir Krip is part. I have a conditional separated family. Why? Simply because my father is nagtatrabaho sa ibang bansa in UAE, and since magkakahiwalay kami ngayon, na kami mga yung family niya ay nandito sa Pilipinas at siya ay halimbawa nasa UAE, definitely we are conditionally separated. No? Pero once he will be returning here in the country for good, definitely hindi na kami mako-consider as conditionally separated. No? So that would actually be conditionally separated. Kaya siya sinabi na conditionally separated simply because may condition kaya sinasabing separated. Okay? So we also have what we call as transnational family. It is a type of family who lives in more than one country. They may spend part of each year from one country to the other, and this is caused due to employment or military service of the parents. Okay, so in politics, definitely there is also kinship. So we have what we call as political dynasties, which refer to the family members who are involved in politics for several generations. Simula kay lolo, lola, no, mama, papa, hanggang sa mga apuhan, no? Definitely that is part of political dynasties. No, distinguishing political dynasties o political alliances, if we're talking about political alliances, hindi ito magkakapamilya. Pero ang nangyayari sa political alliance, they are cooperating to each other for common political agenda. No, so they would want to ensure victory so that they will be able to guarantee their objectives. So that would be political alliances, and so those two would actually be examples of kinship of politics. And that's it for our discussion about kinship, marriage, and the household. And let me grab this opportunity to thank everyone for attending our session. And I hope that I will see you all on the succeeding session. So thank you, everyone. And I hope that you'll have a great week ahead of you.